Hi, I'm Tamyra. I'm a senior here at SPU, and I'm on the rowing team.
Tamyra, you just got back from the first official regatta of the spring. How'd things go for you?
It was really great. SPU, every race that we entered, we swept everything, so it was really awesome for all of our boats.
7 for 7. You played a part in 2 of those. First, let's talk about the varsity 4. Just tell us briefly about that race, how that went.
Yeah, so it was really good. We raced UPS and Portland, and we ended up walking away pretty quickly in the beginning of the race, and we held our margins and just finished with a really good race.
When you know you're going to be racing again and you have a healthy lead, do you take back the stroke rate or ease into the finish, or do you just power through? What happened there?
We just power through. Big power, lots of legs, and we just push through everything.
Great. Then after that race, you don't have much time to congratulate yourselves as you and some others from that 4 go into the second varsity 8 2 hours later. What do you do in between those races to get yourself ready?
Yeah, so it's a really quick turnaround because we usually have an hour-long warm-up, and so right when we get off the water, we pretty much have a couple minutes to change, get out of our wet clothes, eat something, stretch out, and then we pretty much have to get hands-on right away. And the other half of the 2B8 was on the water right after us, and so they had a really quick turnaround too, so we helped them kind of get ready to go for our next race.
Now, personally for you, you're in the 2 seat of the 4, then you have to get ready for the 5 seat in an 8. Is rowing different between the 2?
Yeah, so rowing in a 4 is a lot different. The boat is a lot smaller, so you're pulling a lot more weight, and you definitely have to be more careful about your blending into the boat. Because it's such a small boat with less people. In an 8, you have a little bit more lenience in how you row, but you definitely still have to apply the same amount of power.
Great. And also, what about the positioning, the boat, a 5 seat versus a 2? Any differences there?
It's definitely interesting being 2 seat because I'm usually an odd number, but we're bucketed in the 4.
Yeah.
But it's interesting in an 8 just because you get to kind of see a little bit, more of the boat, because normally if I'm in 2 seat, I only have one person sitting behind me, so I only see one oar, but with the 8, I can see kind of both sides. So that's really interesting.
And you mentioned a term maybe some people might not be familiar with in rowing. A bucket, it's a rigging. People are generally used to seeing kind of alternating oars on every side. Describe or explain what a bucket is.
So in a normal 4 or normal 8, you have port, starboard alternating oars every other rower. But in a bucket, it usually goes port, starboard, port, or starboard, port, starboard. So you can have one person easily following behind another person.
And you're not a coach, so you may not know, but what would the reasoning be for going with the bucket rigging?
Usually with a bucket rig, the 2 people who are on the same side that are sitting right behind each other, the one person who's in the back usually follows the person in the front, so the person in the front has to be a really strong rower so the person in the back can follow their technique easily.
Great. Well, we've got you out of the bucketed 4. You're into the traditional 8 for the second varsity race. Take us through that race.
It was great. So we had an interesting start. We didn't pull away right away. And throughout pretty much the first and second 500, we were kind of a little bit behind University of Portland. And then in the third 500, we just started walking away, and we just kept walking through the third and 500, and we finished like a length in front of them. So it was a really great race.
Great. And at that point, obviously, it's a coxswain's job to keep an eye on the other crews. But while you're rowing, if there's someone in vision, is that impacting you, or do you notice the other crews out there?
It definitely depends. Most of the time you're supposed to keep your head in the boat and only focus on what you're doing, but definitely like when that boat is right next to you and they're so close, you kind of peek out of the side of your eye to see where they are, because that can definitely, like, if you're up on them, it can give you a boost, and if you're down, it gives you the motivation to keep going and row harder.
Great. Well, you did a fantastic job in those 2 races. The other 5, you really have to worry about your 2 crews. How do you find out how the other 5 races went for your team?
We usually just kind of find somebody who's in that boat and say, hey, how did your race go? Or pull a coxswain aside who's watching and say, hey, how did it go? Because we don't always have time to watch, but sometimes if we're warming up at the same time as another race is going, we'll be able to kind of look and watch how the race starts, but we usually don't see how it finishes, so we have to find somebody else to let us know.
Great. Well, the 2 boats that compete at Nationals, the 8 and the 4, you were in that 4, Western Washington in that race. Our varsity 8 also beat Western Washington convincingly. It's early in the year, but what does that do just for motivation for the team?
It's really definitely promising because we were really close to Western last year, and that was our main competitor, and so being able to kind of take that lead early in the season is really encouraging, and it will definitely motivate us further in the season to keep up that lead that we have and keep it up for Nationals.
You've obviously been on the water a lot in practices, a lot of scrimmages and things. How important is it, though, just to get a regatta under your belt?
I think it's super important. You don't really know exactly how you feel about racing against other teams until you get on the water and compete against them. But once you get that first regatta under your belt and you say, I can do this and I've done this, and even having a win under your belt is fantastic for your motivation. It really helps you feel good for the rest of the season.
Even more important, I would imagine, for those novices on the crowd. Did you get a sense, having had a chance to talk to them, see how they felt about their first race?
Yeah, I've talked to a couple of them, and this is their first 2K race. A lot of them did 5Ks in the fall, but a lot of them are super excited to see what the rest of the season holds, and they were really motivated by our wins today.
Great. You mentioned the rest of the season. No rest for this crew. Next week, our only home regatta year, the Falcon Regatta, is a big one. Top-ranked Central Oklahoma and Western Washington comes in here. They're third ranked and the Falcons are fourth. Your thoughts on getting to compete here at home on Lake Washington Ship Canal?
Oh, I think it's going to be great. I think having the home team advantage is going to be really great for us, and it'll give us a really good advantage because we can just kind of see where we stand against other teams on our own water. So it'll be really great for us.
Great. Well, Tamyra, congratulations on a great day of racing and thanks for your time.
Thank you so much.